Hello.
Hello.
Hello there. The angel from my nightmare.
Why are you doing this?
Shadow in the background of morgue.
Why? So while you were preparing yourself for the stream,
Yes,
I went on Tumblr,
as you do.
unfortunately. And there was a post that was like, "Here's a wheel picker of weapons.
Mm-hmm.
Depending on what you get, would you be able to survive the zombie apocalypse?"
Uh-huh.
I got Piranha Solution, and I'm not exactly sure what that means.
Is,
Like, is it like just piranhas? Is it a chemical that dissolves your body? I
is
don't know.
is it something where you add water and it make piranha?
Yeah, is it something where you like, yeah, you add it to water and it turns into piranhas?
Is
I
it the
don't know.
solution to piranhas?
Is it the solution to piranhas? I have no idea, but I was like, I have no idea what this is. What am I gonna do with it? Like, dissolving bodies would help in a zombie apocalypse, but I feel like I wouldn't have a lot of it. Like, I would have a limited amount, so I don't know. Anyway, Ace Attorney.
I have to pet my cat. She's being very cute.
The cat is here. We need to get a cat cam.
Yeah, but that requires like a good camera or a
And
camera that I can
also
place.
predicting where she's gonna be at any point in time.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, I can typically do that, but then it'll change in 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah. And since we stream mostly once a week.
Yeah.
Yeah, cat cam doesn't work. Okay, anyway.
And for people who miss extra streams, sorry, I've been obsessed with Like a Dragon.
Why is there a reason you haven't been streaming it?
Because I wanted my first time playing through them to be for me.
That's very fair. I'm so sorry, Mr. Wright. I'm sorry for what my sister said.
What did she say? I forgot. Oh,
Drastic
that.
crimes require drastic measures. That's just the way it is. We did what we had to do in order for him to get the verdict he deserved. I didn't know. I never knew that the SL incident was just another name for the Joe Dark killings.
Sounds like everyone's heard about these killings but me. Yeah,
You do
that's a
not know
common theme,
anything.
Phoenix.
He doesn't know anything about the crime that happens in his city.
He doesn't know anything. He doesn't know about the crimes. He doesn't know who the head prosecutor is. He doesn't know who the chief of police is.
Which, like, okay, as a civilian, sure. But as a lawyer,
A defense attorney?
you should probably know that. Anyway, next.
In the second game, is he going to find out who the chief of the defense attorneys are? And just be
No,
like, why didn't I
I'm,
ever know who this person
I'm
was?
pretty sure defense attorneys are just private practice.
That's definitely what it seems like. And then prosecutors are like
Are the state.
state funded. I wonder why the prosecutors normally win.
Yeah. Lana wanted Dark convicted so badly. That's why she used me. That's why she used what happened to me.
What do you mean, what happened to you?
Reminder that she is 16 now?
Uh
Or
huh.
15? I think she might be. She's 15 or 16.
16.
And this happened 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago or 4 years ago?
2 years. That's when the quote unquote
Yeah.
solved cases are transferred.
So she would have been 13 whenever this happened.
Yeah, 13, 14.
Yeah. It's all there in the file. Joe Dark's last victim was prosecutor Neil Marshall. When he murdered Officer Marshall's brother, he left behind an incriminating piece of evidence.
But what did you have to do with those killings, Emma?
I was Joe Dark. On the night prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered, Joe Dark tried to kill me.
What? He tried to kill you?
I was
But I
13
know you.
years old. Officer Marshall's brother Neil was only trying to save me.
So that means you...
Yes. I was a witness in the Joe Dark trial.
I didn't see that one coming. I did.
It happened 2 years ago. It was right about this time of the year, too.
So she was
Oh, yeah.
14.
There was a terrible thunderstorm that day, unusual for the season. I was alone in my sister's office. We were planning to eat dinner together once she finished her work. We were gonna go have burgers. Then suddenly, this terrifying man came bursting into the office. Joe Dark. It seemed like he was running from someone. He pulled out a knife and screamed at me. I didn't know what was going on. Just then, Prosecutor Marshall showed up.
Jake Marshall's brother. We've established that.
Joe Dark tried to take me hostage. But before he could, Mr. Marshall tackled him. Then,
What happened?
I'll never forget it. Lightning struck and the lights went out. Suddenly, a bolt of lightning flashed outside the window, lighting up the office for an instant. What I saw then burned a permanent picture in my mind. I can see it now.
A permanent picture.
Yeah, it's called Trauma, Phoenix. I don't remember the moment when Dark stabbed Mr. Marshall.
So you weren't able to testify about that.
No, I was only asked about when I was attacked. That must be why she made up the crime.
Made it up? You mean provided bogus evidence?
The prosecutor's office wanted that guilty verdict so badly. Lana forged the evidence and Mr. Edgeworth used it.
Edgeworth?
Yes, we already know this. Yes, but I'm sure he didn't know anything about it. You saw how upset he was in the courtroom when he found out that it was false evidence.
Yep.
He couldn't have known he was being given false evidence. Even so, that's when it all started. There were rumors about Mr. Edgeworth, I mean. It's all my fault.
It's not.
It's literally not. You were 13 or 14 years
I'd
old.
say that the
Hold on,
blame
I'm looking up
still
old.
primarily lands on Dark. The man who tried to murder you
Yeah.
and
But
murdered
also,
a guy in front of you.
16. Okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, she was 14 years old. Still, you were very much a child. You are still very much a child. If I could have just testified properly, none of this would have happened.
So it's true, even though he may not have known it, Edgeworth really was involved in falsifying evidence.
After that case ended, Lana was never the same.
Well, he was involved in falsified evidence,
Yeah.
which has happened a few times. Not evidence necessarily, a lot of testimonies,
Yeah.
but we've been over. Perjury doesn't actually exist in this world.
She became cold, like she is today.
She must not have been able to face up to what she did, especially not to Emma. What did you see in the instant that crime occurred?
Dark knocked down Mr. Marshall and raised his knife.
You know, Marshall was stabbed right in front of this poor girl.
She needs therapy. I don't remember what happened after that.
A lot of the characters in these games do.
Apparently, I passed out. When I came to, Lana was cradling me in her arms.
Poor Emma. Been through so much.
I couldn't bring myself to testify about that instant. I tried, but the words just wouldn't come out. I drew a picture, but it wasn't any good.
2 years ago, you must have been 14. It's understandable.
Yeah, it sounds like the courts didn't provide proper support for a minor to testify about a murder.
What? These courts not providing support?
Like, that's a whole thing. Is like making sure that there is like someone in the courtroom who is there to make sure that the child is comfortable enough to talk about it.
Yep.
Once it was all over, I made up my mind. I decided that when I grew up, I'd become a scientific investigator. I want to be able to fight crime with my testimonies and find the evidence to make an airtight case. That way, Lana would never have to forge any.
I see. I think I'm finally starting to understand what makes him a tick. But there's still something that bothers me about that crime. Something that's puzzling me, Emma.
What is it?
You said you were in Lana's office at the time, right?
That's right.
Why then would a serial killer come running in there? Not only that, but he was being chased by a prosecutor?
Oh, there's no mystery there.
What?
Joe Dark had been taken in for questioning that day.
Taken in for questioning? You mean by the police?
Of course. This happened at the police department. He tried to run away halfway through the interview and fled into my sister's office.
But why did he run all the way over to your sister's office?
Because the detective offices and the questioning room are right across from the elevator.
Across from the elevator? But Lana was the chief prosecutor, wasn't she?
No, this was 2 years ago. No, silly, didn't I tell you? 2 years ago, Lana was a detective.
Yeah.
She was the best in the entire force.
What? That's news to me.
After the Joe Dark case, she was transferred to the prosecutor's office and made chief prosecutor.
Lana used to be a detective?
Also, being a detective and being a prosecutor are wildly different skill sets.
Yeah, like, majorly.
And also licensing?
Like,
Do they say, no, you don't have to pass the bar? It's fine. You were a detective, right?
You're a detective. Here, be the chief. What? Is this why there's the Edgeworth investigation games?
Because prosecutors and detectives are the same thing. I mean, to be fair, is Phoenix not a detective? Are we not playing a detective who also has to stand up in court?
Fully.
That's what the game is.
It's a detective game.
Yeah. Anyway. Alright, well, let's go talk to Lana.
Move.
She has some explaining to do.
Hey, you were a how did you Did you pass the bar?
Yeah. Lana! Mr. Wright, it seems I keep causing you trouble.
Falsifying evidence. I didn't think you were the type.
Criminals don't mind playing foul. Why should we? But Lana, if you're wrong, an innocent person might be found guilty. Thank you, Emma. Exactly what I was thinking. Believe me, I understand the risks.
Lana, Emma told me about you.
Oh?
How you were a detective 2 years ago? And how the SL9 incident was the reason for your transfer to the prosecutor's office.
That's right.
Could you fill me in on the details, especially about that unusual change of jobs? Did you pass the bar?
I suppose you have a right to know, Mr. Wright.
Because you were also... But you were also Mia's senior in law school. So did you pass the bar,
okay, so yeah, then
become a detective? And
yeah,
okay.
yeah. What happened? That's also confusing. Cause yeah, she was in law. I guess yeah, she passed the bar and then decided to become a detective. Cause you don't need licensing for a detective to be a detective, right?
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure that's just like a position that you can acquire.
Essentially.
Some places might have you take some tests or do some training or have to do something. Anyway, we already know this.
This world is confusing.
Yeah.
A lot of revelations were uncovered at the trial today, not the least of which was the fact that this case is largely connected to another one 2 years ago.
Evidence from that case was stolen as well, though I expected as much. I know how obsessive Officer Marshall can be. That trial, it really wasn't fair, was it?
Most of them aren't.
I believed in you, Lana. I believed that no matter what happened, you'd always stick with the truth. It couldn't be helped, Emma. At that trial 2 years ago, I sold my soul. To the devil!
Well, all drama aside, the fact of the matter is, at 5:15, there was no murder at the police department.
Tell me it's not true, Lana. What that witness, Miss Starr, said? About you stabbing Mr. Goodman with a knife. Lana, I don't understand. Why won't you tell us? Emma, this doesn't involve just me.
See, you actually stabbed Detective Goodman with a knife.
Just as you stabbed, stabbed Prosecutor Marshall 2 years ago with a knife.
Dark never existed.
You are Joe Dark, and you have horrible hallucinations. I knew I should have taken you to therapy.
We all should have gone to therapy.
Anyway.
I don't think I've ever seen Lana look so phased before.
It's true. I was a member of the police force 2 years ago. She was amazing.
Oh look, it's the devil.
They still talk about all the cases she and Chief Gant cracked together.
He didn't have his devil tie yet.
Yeah, just a regular tie.
And didn't have the symbol that is also on Marshall's poncho. Chief Gant?
He was the deputy chief of police back then, but he still worked on crime scenes. Damon Gant. He was everything I aspired to be. They were the best team ever. They solved crimes before the reports could even be filed.
Emma really idolizes her big sister. You just realizing that, Phoenix? But now you're chief prosecutor. What happened?
I always planned on becoming a prosecutor. The reason I became a detective was to gain experience investigating crime scenes so you could use that experience in court, right? Okay, that makes sense. Kind of. Gant's help in the SL9 case was crucial to its resolution. After that, he became chief of police and arranged my transfer to the prosecutor's office.
I see. You really sold your soul to the devil. Anyway, maybe I should ask more about this investigation of theirs 2 years ago.
Two years ago, I was second in command of the detectives investigating Dark.
Second in command? That means the investigation lead was Damon Gant, right?
Yes, Deputy Chief Gant and I shared the same office and the same investigations.
They even had the same office?
We led a team of the best detectives on the force. Detective Goodman, whose case it was, Jake Marshall, and Angela Starr. It was the first time Marshall worked with his brother. He was quite gung-ho. Without a doubt, Joe Dark was the serial killer. We asked him to come in for questioning. We were desperate for evidence. That was when his final murder took place.
He tried to murder Emma.
Prosecutor Marshall was trying to save me from Dark. You see, the first person who happened upon the scene of the crime was me.
Now you tell us.
Damon Grant and Neil Marshall were the ones questioning Dark that day. The investigation was in its final stages, and Dark must have suddenly panicked. So he waited until Gant and Marshall let their guards down, then fled the room. From there, he ran straight to the office shared by Deputy Chief Gant and myself. That's where he found me.
So you're the first person to run to the scene, Lana.
It appears so. I was filing some papers while Gant and Marshall were questioning Dark. When I returned to my office, I saw 3 bodies on the floor and smelled blood.
3 bodies? Emma fainted.
Prosecutor Marshall, the victim Emma, who had passed out, and the suspect Joe Dark. During the struggle, it seems Mr. Marshall struck a final blow before he died. Joe Dark had incurred a minor concussion and lay unconscious.
What did you do?
To be honest, I panicked. I picked up Emma, carried her out of the room, and just held her.
Can't blame her after all her sister must have gone through.
After that, I placed Dark under immediate arrest.
Let me get this straight. You were involved in the SL9 incident.
That's right. Quite a coincidence,
I don't buy it.
What are you saying?
There's no way everyone involved in this trial was also involved in that incident. Just by chance.
But that case was solved 2 years ago.
At least one person went to extremes because they didn't believe it was truly solved.
Officer Marshall. Yes, his actions came as a surprise to me as well. Ever since his brother died, he's changed completely.
He's constantly drinking.
I guess he wasn't convinced with the ruling against Joe Dark. Life doesn't end with the closing of a case. Everyone has to live the rest of their lives with their memories.
That case just might not be over yet.
Uh-huh.
Emma was assaulted by Dark at the police department, right?
Yes, in the office that Damon Gant and I shared. The office that Mr. Gant now occupies by himself. The chief's office.
Maybe we should take a look at the chief's office, the site of the final SL9 murder. Why was that made into the... Wouldn't he just take over the other chief? He didn't want to move.
I'm sure, yeah. I'm sure he was like, well, I like this office.
I like
Why?
this office. There was a murder in here. I'm the devil.
I'm the chief, I'm the devil. This is mine, so... Yeah.
Do you like my new tie? Also, by the way, her middle badge, that's the same shape as his tie. Anyway. Criminal affairs. Blue Badger?
Blue Badger!
I don't see Detective Gumshoe anywhere.
Things seem kind of quiet around here today.
Yeah, it's because Gumshoe's not here. Right. The chief of detectives seems the same, though?
Why don't we go look for some other people to talk to?
Right. We can come back here later.
I guess we're not supposed to be here.
Do I go to the entrance?
Blue Badger!
Blue Badger? Oh, hi. Howdy, Bambina.
Oh, Mr. Marshall.
Never thought things turn out this way when I woke up this morning. Que sera, sera. You never know where life will lead you, eh, Bambina? Should have known my luck had run out when old Billy dried up this morning.
Billy? Is that a cactus?
It must be his pet cactus. Say, where are you headed? Just over to the prosecutor's office for a little interrogation. It's a voluntary appearance, but we all know I won't be coming back. Sorry, but you can't go in the evidence room today, partner.
But, Mr. Marshall, why did you do it?
Why do prosecutors head west?
Prospectors.
Listen. Stop drinking. Anyway, drink. If ever there was a case I needed to know the truth about, it was that one. Before you turn yourself in, Mr. Marshall, would you mind telling us exactly what happened? Looks like I won't be getting a steak lunch today. Yeah, we haven't seen Star to bribe you with one. Anyway, something was fishy about that trial from the beginning. It wasn't just me either. All the detectives thought so. What do you mean, fishy? Some of the facts reported were inconsistent with the evidence found. For example, the murder weapon. Murder weapon? You mean the switchblade knife with the broken tip? That was Joe Dark's, alright. But in the initial autopsy report, a question was raised.
A question?
The blade of the knife was not a perfect match with the wound the victim sustained. What does that mean? Means there's a good chance that knife was not the murder weapon. However, the report that was finally submitted, that possibility had been erased. Could the facts have been concealed with forged evidence? That case left behind scars on all of us.
the scars that the SL9 incident left behind.
So, at one point, they described everyone involved getting, like, something bad happening to them because of it. Marshall was demoted. Star was kicked off the force entirely. But Lana was made the chief prosecutor. Gant is the chief of
And
police,
Goodman
and Goodman was still a detective.
Yeah. So is it really just two people
It,
lost their
it was
positions? So maybe it's the two who were
Like,
questioning things.
we can all agree Prosecutor Marshall got the worst end of the deal, but
Yeah.
one got demoted, one got kicked off, two more got promoted, and one stayed the same.
Yeah.
I got the looks, he got the brains. Okay. He's one of the best prosecutors around. I had just made detective when it went down. It was our first case together.
How old was he, your brother? Of course he was. Of course he was 27.
Huh.
Are you okay?
I choked on water. And it was not because of, but it did exactly coincide with when I read 27. I'm older than that guy. He was awarded the highest honor that very day. The highest honor? You mean the King of Prosecutors? I know it. God, I hate that thing. Anyway, what are you looking at me for? That's an honor for a prosecutor. Mr. Marshall must have really been close with his brother.
The day the SL9 incident took place, that wasn't the same day as...
That's right. It was the day of evidence transferal.
So it's the same.
Interesting. It was drizzling that morning, and by nightfall there was thunder. Can't believe 2 years have gone by already. Tried to steal the evidence so the case wouldn't die. Apparently someone tried to stop you. Detective Goodman was murdered and the evidence locker was empty. There was something going on behind the scenes in that case. We all knew that later. Every detective involved in that investigation, save one, was taken care of. Were they?
Yeah, I mean, she still, even though Lana got essentially a promotion, she was still removed from being a detective.
I guess so. Miss
So
Starr
Goodman
was fired.
Goodman was the only one who got to keep his position.
I was demoted and boxed away in a tiny room. What about Detective Goodman? If they did something to him, the commissioners would get suspicious.
So that's why they were like, we can't punish all of them.
No, they were careful enough not to be too obvious. They?
Who are you talking about?
Don't get upset, Bambina. I mean Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Okay, now it makes sense. The investigation lead, Damon Gant, and his second-in-command, Lana Skye. Wasn't a person on the force who hadn't heard of that duo. That case was the biggest step in both of their careers. After the case ended, Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office, right? Sorry, I have a habit of mirroring accents when I hear them. Yeah, Damon Gant, the new chief of police, arranged that to happen. She's never been the same since she left.
Eh? I also noticed that.
Everyone who knew her said so. Chief Prosecutor Sky was totally different when she was a detective. Now that he mentions it, Emma said something like that too, like 2 minutes ago, Phoenix.
Yeah. Tell me, what happened to my sister?
Sorry, Bambina, but her secret is too well guarded. I never found out. Lana's secret. It all started 2 years ago. So there you have it. That's my story. Do you enjoy it, partner? It was certainly enlightening. There's one thing for sure I found out in court today. That boy Edgeworth isn't my enemy. He was the one who used falsified evidence to get a guilty verdict. But someone else was the one who gave him that evidence and planned everything. That someone is Damon Gant. Don't believe me? Well, I don't blame you. I won't even be a patrolman after today. Too bad I won't be around to work with you when you become a real scientific investigator. Adios, Bambina.
So when we started playing this case,
Uh-huh.
I did look up Marshall because I was trying to remember information about him, and I got the information about his brother dying, and I was like, oh man, is he gonna die in front of us, forgetting that he had a brother? So I was like waiting for that to happen for the longest time, and then when it was revealed he had a brother, I was like, oh, that's right, he has a brother.
Ah.
Yeah. Anyway.
This place is always pretty empty, but today it's deserted. That's why it looks the exact same as every single other time we've been here.
That must mean everyone's busy solving crimes.
Oh, if you're looking for the others, they're all in the conference room. Thanks. Wow, he actually talked to us. With the chief prosecutor saying what she did, and the decision about what to do, about Mr. Edgeworth, not to mention our statement to the media and tomorrow's trial, there's more chaos going on than Thanksgiving and Christmas put together. I think festive is the word usually used for those.
Sir, we'd like to have a look around Chief Gant's office.
Just use the connecting hallway to the other building and take the elevator to the top floor.
Really? You mean it's okay for us to go in there? You're not gonna, like, stop us? I mean, we aren't police officers or anything.
Hey, you're right. You can't go in there. It's all... Why did you convince him?
Emma!
Now I see where Detective Gumshoe gets his unique charm.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's head to the chief's office.
I just told you can't go there.
Oh,
What? Sorry, I can't hear you. Oh my god, he has a pipe organ?
I was so waiting for you to see this.
He has a...
It is...
Why?
Because he's the devil. And he needs a pipe organ.
Okay.
I was waiting for you to see his office because, yes, it is this.
Okay.
Look at the filigree.
I understand why he didn't want to leave his office now. Why are there stained glass windows? Whoa, where am I?
In the chief's office, silly. At least that's what it said on the door. It's totally normal to have
Check out that
like
pipe
this.
organ. That's real, isn't it?
Hey, I used to take organ lessons in kindergarten. They used to call me Little Miss Bach.
Okay. I thought
I thought I was a
that's
genius until they tried to teach me notes. I never could remember where C was.
Oh, that's you.
Oh, it's you two.
Why is there just a suit of armor? Is that gonna come to life and attack us?
No.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Chief Gant! He put that paper he was reading in his desk.
So, Righto, have you been swimming lately? That's a threat, right?
Oh, Foley. He's offering us cement shoes right now. No, I haven't. I've been kinda busy lately.
I can appreciate that. I've had my hands full too with Mr. Marshall's misconduct. And Lana's provocative statement.
Provocative statement. Oh, you mean about the forged evidence.
2 years have passed since that incident. My, how time flies! A man died! Lots of people did. It was about a serial killer. See that picture on the wall over there?
Uh-huh. Why is the suit of armor, like, in the foreground?
That's a picture of Lana, Neil, and me!
The trophy's different.
I mean, it's been 2 years.
There used to be a broken sword on it as well. I still don't like it, but I like this. I dislike this slightly less.
That's one way of saying it, yeah.
So this is Mr. Marshall's brother, Prosecutor Neil Marshall.
We took it to commemorate our work together. He died that night!
Something's not right with this picture. Okay. Is it the fact that Lana looks slightly washed out compared to the other two?
She's a ghost.
Is it the fact that the armor's like superimposed and highlighted in the foreground? I can't quite. Is it the trophy? Can't quite seem to put my finger on it though. Also, the vase from the trial that we put together is in the background. But
It sure is.
I mean, this is where one of the murders happened, so that makes sense.
Yeah. And falling over or getting knocked into makes a lot of sense. Anyway, I'd like to reminisce all day, but there are matters that need my attention. I'm going to lock up here, so let's go out together. Oh. But this office, it was a crime scene 2 years ago, wasn't it? That case has been long since over. There's no need to investigate it anymore. What trauma!
All the same, we'd still like to have a look around.
Perhaps you didn't hear me. I said there's no need to investigate it anymore. Now hurry up and get out. I have a meeting to attend. Looks like we aren't welcome.
Seems that case isn't over with yet after all.
What do you mean?
Chief Gant denied our quest to search the crime scene. That means there must be a reason he doesn't want us looking around in there.
You mean like a clue?
There's gotta be a way we can get inside the chief's office. Lana, I'm just saying this inside my head, so nobody around us hears. But I know you can still hear my thoughts.
You just called her Lana.
I sure did. Do I go back to the affairs department? I do. Gumshoe! Can you let me into the chief's office?
Please.
Detective Gumshoe, aren't you supposed to be in a meeting? I'm just taking a breather. My feet hurt.
From sitting so long?
Actually, I'm serving everyone coffee. Sounds like Detective Gumshoe's still out of the loop. Say, have either of you seen Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth? No. Why do you ask? He's under fire from both the police department and the prosecutor's office. It's almost like the battle's between you two in court. That sounds serious.
Is it because of what my sister said?
That's basically what it all boils down to. That falsified evidence 2 years ago. Well, Mr. Edgeworth has the whole world after his blood.
Yikes.
But he's the one with the vampire aesthetic, not the world. Hey, could you let us into Gant's office? But why would Edgeworth be blamed? It's not like he knew the evidence was forged. Lana Skye is the guilty party here, isn't she? Sorry. Regardless, a prosecutor is responsible for the evidence they present in court. Not only that... Oh, cool. 1 second.
Oh. Bots! Be gone, bots! I hated their username too. That was really bad.
I didn't read it at all.
CD Favor, spelled the British way.
Yeah, that's bad.
Gross.
But as you know, there have been a lot of rumors going around about Mr. Edgeworth. His amazing talent as a prosecutor has kept him safe from those who don't like him. But now with this...
Are there really so many people who hate him?
Yes. In our world, only those who with talent rise to the top. Mr. Edgeworth not only has that, but he's young. There's no better recipe I know for making enemies. Hey, Dick!
Hey, Dick! Keep up the good work!
Yes, sir.
Let's go out for lunch again sometime. My treat!
Yes, sir.
You gotta take me back to that joint sometime, okay, Dick?
Yes, sir. It seems you don't have any problems with enemies. Yeah, well, I'm careful not to stick out. Anyway, I'm a bit worried about him. Under all this pressure, I'm afraid Mr. Edgeworth just might crack.
So that guy was totally flirting with him and was like, hey, we should go on a date sometime.
Oh,
right?
fully.
Yeah. I mean, Gumshoe's a catch. Absolutely.
But...
I don't know if he can cook, though. Can he cook?
He might be able to. I feel like there are certain things that he could cook very, very well, and everything else just ends up burnt.
I think his issue is that because he doesn't have any money because his salary keeps getting cut, he doesn't have access to, like, ingredients, so he probably eats a lot of, like, cup ramen.
Probably.
Anyway. What were you saying, Gumshoe?
Actually, I took a look at the file earlier while the coffee was brewing. Seems genuinely concerned for Edgeworth, as he typically does. Well, did you find out anything? The only evidence Dark left behind was during his final attack. His final attack? You mean when he killed Prosecutor Marshall, who was trying to protect some girl?
That some girl is right there.
She's right there, Gumshoe. It seems Detective Gumshoe never realized Emma was the girl.
Holy shit, little girl, you should be in, like, therapy or something. What are you doing here at the police office?
Listen, I've gotten a lot of pay cuts. I still go to therapy.
I'm just
It's why I'm one of the only people here that still smiles. It's when he left the most incriminating evidence of all.
Well, what was it?
Let's see. I think I had something to do with the murder weapon? Oh, I forget. Look, it's all written somewhere in here, okay? His power of recollection never failed to impress.
Maybe we should show him the murder weapon.
I feel I feel like the biggest thing of evidence is that Prosecutor Marshall is dead on the floor on top of the man. And the only other person in there is a passed out 14-year-old.
Yeah. Who definitely could not overpower,
Prosecutor
And-
Marshall?
yeah, an adult
A
man.
full-grown 27-year-old man? And also knock out a different full-grown man?
Who is thought
A
to
serial
be a serial
killer?
killer. Yeah. Anyway, it might just jog his memory. So, if you want to present.
I'm gonna dark crimes, or
Okay.
is that gonna be a dead end one?
I mean, you can do that first.
I changed my mind.
Okay.
Hey, I can't. It's not in the court record. I have to back out and present.
Yeah.
I have to give you a present.
a present. It's a knife. Happy birthday.
No. About this. Hey, is that? It has a tag attached to it with the label SL9 incident on it. I believe this would be the broken murder weapon you were speaking of. What are you doing with that? Ever since that case was closed, that knife's been locked away in a locker.
On the day Detective Goodman was murdered, this suddenly disappeared from the locker. It was found in Mr. Edgeworth's car muffler.
That's it. Now I remember what that incriminating piece of evidence was. When you showed me that knife, it all came back to me.
Well, what is it, Detective? Quick, before you forget again.
Okay, it does. This does have things. Joe Dark was 42 at the time of the crime. He was your run-of-the-mill businessman.
That man was only 42?
I thought he was like 60.
Or like a really stressed out 50-something?
Business.
Like, okay, when I see him, I think Carlisle Cullen from Twilight, which, to be fair, he is supposed to be like 20-something, which is ridiculous. But the actor who plays him is an older guy in the movies. He's like a cross between like Hannibal Lecter and Carlisle Cullen to me when I look at Joe Dark.
Yeah, that's a pretty apt description.
Like when I look at him, that's just like all that pops into my head is like he's a combination of those two men. In looks, because he has none of the personality from either of those men. I don't think he has any charisma.
He's
although
he's not a charismatic gentleman or a vampire.
No. Who is a charismatic gentleman?
But he is a serial killer.
He is a serial
Probably.
killer. Yeah, probably. Yeah. It's
Allegedly.
Like, oh, no, allegedly. There's some falsified evidence, so, who knows?
A businessman? What made him take the serial killer? Phoenix, what kind of question is that?
Anybody can be a serial killer if they believe in themselves and have enough anger and hatred in their heart.
One day on his way home from work, he hit someone with his car.
Oh, he's got a fetish.
Oh,
With
God.
his car? So it was an accident?
An accident, yes. But it transformed him into an animal. Also, I did my favorite thing. I've just opened a pack of Pokemon cards on stream. I got
What'd
a
you get?
Torterra.
Uh-huh.
I got a Snover.
Okay.
I got a Gibble.
Gibble.
And I got a Slugma.
Nice. Were any of those new cards for you?
And I got a Mightyena.
Nice.
The Slugma and the Torterra.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I got a Groddle earlier, which is what I needed to complete that Pokemon line.
Ooh. No, I have a Groddle.
So I can finally use the Torterra line in a deck.
Nice.
I really need to redo my decks because most of them are still just from the original packs.
Yeah. For me, it's like I could redo my decks, but the thing is, the battling part is the thing that I enjoy the least.
Do you not enjoy the solo battling?
It's fine.
I like the solo battling because I don't have to worry about a human person interacting with me.
Yeah, my problem is that like the best decks that I can make rely on too many coin flips, and I fail
Oh, yeah.
an exceedingly high amount of coin flips.
Yeah, coin flips are tough. That's why I like Pikachu.
Pikachu very good. The problem
Pikachu
is my Pikachu deck also has Zapdos.
Yeah, okay, so you put Zapdos out if you need to. You don't need to get it to the 3 points, the 3 energy. Just get Pikachu out there as soon as possible. It's
Yeah,
fine. Anyway,
but
an accident,
but
yes.
I like my Celebi deck. It's
Okay,
cute.
you can keep your Celebi deck. I didn't say anything against
Celebi
it.
is so. Anyway, an accident, yes, but it transformed them into an animal.
An animal?
Like what kind? Like a mongoose? Why is it
Like
auto
Midwalk,
going?
you should probably be speaking.
It's auto going?
I understand, speak!
Yeah, a jogger came
You
upon the
killed a bunch of
scene,
people.
was
You
killed
killed a
as
bunch of
well.
people.
Finally, he turned himself in. Seems he was a pretty careless animal. Of course, this is all conjecture. It wasn't a single shred of evidence. He turned himself in. So he turned himself in. Yes, but in the middle of his questioning, he fled and murdered his final victim.
Oh, so this wasn't even over like
He
an amount of
wasn't a
time.
serial killer. He was a
He accidentally killed somebody
and then went on a string of murders that
and
day.
that were like people who saw what happened and then decided, oh man, I just killed a bunch of people. That's bad.
And then turned himself in. And then panicked, fled, and killed a prosecutor?
Which is one of the people who was, talking to him.
How was this a case?
Well, anyway, continue.
How was this a case before that day? Prosecutor Marshall. That crime was witnessed by someone too, but luckily Dark was arrested on the spot. It's a good thing that witness wasn't killed. Last witness, aka Emma. Gumshoe, do you know who the witness is? Oh yeah, it was someone by the name of Emmy Sky, but spelled without an E.
Yeah.
This knife, it was Joe Dark's, wasn't it? That's right. We traced it back to the store you bought it at, plus it had his fingerprints on it too.
But no one actually witnessed him using it to murder anyone, right?
And that's where his luck ran out. When you take a good look at the knife, you'll see it's broken.
You don't have to take a good look to notice that.
Yeah, well, anyway. Take
That
a
is such
guess
a
where the broken
16-year-old
off
thing to
tip of
say.
the knife was found. That's what did him in.
Where was it?
The victim, Neil Marshall, was carrying it inside his own body. I mean, we've gotten someone convicted for that.
Hmm.
It was a bullet that was shot at him by Edgeworth, kind of. Anyway, it was found deep inside the stab wound. Did it match Dark's knife? You bet, down to the last fiber.
That's pretty conclusive.
Stabbed in the back, died in the front, died from punctured heart and lung. Knife tip was in the wound.
Okay.
Huh. It's kind of hard to get to heart and lung through the back. Whatever. Well, there you have it in a nutshell. That's all I know. Can I ask you one more thing? What is it? If it's money you need, you should ask Chief Gant. All right. He just...
He'll just give you $50.
And all I ask is your soul.
Hmm.
It's not money, but it does just concern the chief. His office is a crime scene, right? It's where Prosecutor Neil Marshall was murdered.
The chief's out now and his office is locked. But we'd like to have a look around if that's okay.
Well, any detective's ID card can unlock the door.
What? Really?
We have one of those. But if I let a civilian in there, I'd be charged with a breach of trust.
Breach of trust?
Yeah, it allows them to cut my salary in half again. Simply put, I'd be canned. Oh. Sorry, pal. I don't plan on getting fired because of you.
How about this ID card? It was Detective Goodman.
Stop talking! That won't work either. The data was deleted the day he died.
Oh.
So in other words, Gumshoe is our only chance of getting into that office.
I wonder if there's something we could show him that would change his mind.
Blue Badger?
No, we need to... Blue Badger? No, we need to, go to the High Prosecutor's office. So we need to leave.
Like right now?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we have to get stuff. We have to find something to persuade him.
Honestly, with the amount of stuff that I have right now, I'm shocked I don't have something.
Yeah. No, this is why I have the
Yep.
walkthrough up. It's to be like,
No one's
okay,
here today. Not even Ms. Starr.
everyone's probably busy looking into what exactly went down in the evidence room. That must be where the detectives are.
But we proved in court today that on the day of the crime, no one was murdered in the evidence room at 5:15.
Yeah, and I thought we were finally making some headway in our case.
But they still need to figure out who all of the sevens ID number is. It's definitely not Gant. It totally is. But instead, it looks like we just ended up making Lana look even more guilty.
Hang in there, Lana.
I've got to find all the answers by tomorrow. Slide to the left. That was the right. Anyway. Also, if this is the High Prosecutor's office. Wait, this is the High, not the Chief. Never mind.
Yeah.
I forget that they have High Prosecutor and Chief Prosecutor.
Yeah. Edgeworth is the best, but Lana is in charge.
I wonder if Edgeworth is back yet.
There he is. It looks like he's writing something. What are you doing here?
He sure was quick to throw that paper on the floor. Tough day in court, huh?
Huh. I've had to live the past 2 years with rumors flying around. What's another allegation to me? Cheer up, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm rooting for you.
That's Edgeworth for you. Always trying to hide his real feelings.
So what do you want? Unlike some people, I don't have all day.
Well, you see, I need to convince Gumshoe.
There's no excuse for what I've done. 2 years ago, I used false evidence to obtain a guilty verdict. That's what it all breaks down to, and nothing I do can erase that fact.
But you didn't know, did you? I mean, that the evidence was falsified.
The police department and the prosecutor's office share a bond of trust. If that bond is broken, we stand to lose everything.
It's a yes or no question, Edgeworth.
The police department's error is my error, my responsibility as the prosecutor in charge. That fact remains the same, no matter what excuses I might have. Mr. Edgeworth, I take pride in my work. So tell me why. Why has it all come to this?
Even Edgeworth can't keep this kind of emotion bottled up. Hey, Edgeworth, have you considered therapy? I know Gumshoe knows a really good therapist.
He talks about you a lot in his sessions.
Are you up for the trial tomorrow?
Huh. First, last year's trial, and now this one. It seems all you do is worry about me. To be honest, you're getting on my nerves. But Mr. Edgeworth, you can't just walk out on the trial. Tomorrow is the last day. It's too late to change prosecutors. I'll bet that's what my superiors are banking on. I never thought that case would come back to haunt me like this.
What do you mean?
The list of evidence. It seems too short. Most lists run twice as long.
It's only half as long as most lists? That is odd.
After Neil Marshall was murdered, I became prosecutor for that case. I may not have been part of the investigation, but I knew what I had to do. Use the evidence I was given to prove the suspect guilty. That was really the only thing on my mind at the time. Say, we just saw a picture taken around that time.
That picture, something seemed strange about it. Could you tell us again about what happened that day? The day Detective Goodman was murdered. Were you participating in a ceremony of the station, right?
Excuse me. I've never cared for ceremonies, but I had to attend that one.
Where did my mouse go? There it is.
Because you were awarded this! Those receiving awards can't exactly skip out on the ceremony. I finished up at the office in the morning, then drove over to the police department.
You finished up at the office?
Yes, just odds and ends clerical stuff. I didn't plan on returning to the office that day.
But you did.
That is, until I was asked to take something back. Take something back? This.
Oh.
Oh yeah, Chief Gant asked you to hold on to that, didn't he? Yes, it was a piece of evidence in a case that was closed half a year ago. He asked me to bring it back to the prosecutor's office.
That's the story we heard yesterday. So you came back to the prosecutor's office because the chief asked you to?
That's right. So you need to present something.
Hmm. Screwdriver?
No, he knows what that is.
Blue badger?
No, not Blue Badger.
Weird picture?
Yeah.
This picture was hanging on the wall in Chief Gant's office. I took it down when he wasn't looking. It's mine now.
Oh, he blinked too. A shame.
Yeah. Oh well.
Prosecutor Neil Marshall. He had just started making a name for himself. Looks like this was taken when he received the King of Prosecutors trophy.
Which apparently was the same day as all of the things happening in this case.
Speaking of that, there's something that bothers me. Yes. That trophy Mr. Marshall is holding. It's a little different than yours. Yes, you're right.
Why does it have that little thing on the end? The base of the... Is that... I don't... Whatever.
I remember now.
Remember what?
That was what the official prosecutor's trophy looked like until 2 years ago. There's a story behind its design. A story?
Sounds interesting. Would you mind telling it to us?
It's simple, really. Contradiction. That's what the award's based on. This award originates from an ancient Chinese tale. In Chinese, the word contradiction is written with 2 characters. The first means halberd, and the second means shield.
That
Have
makes
you
sense.
heard this story?
Me? Oh, sure. Everyone knows that. Why don't you tell it, though, for Emma's sake?
Very well.
Oh, but Mr. Wright, I already... Shh. I'm trying not to look stupid. He
Long
already
ago-
knows that I don't know anything.
Long ago, in the kingdom of Chu, there was an arms merchant. One day, he presented the king with 2 items. The first was a halberd he claimed could slice through any shield or armor. The second was a shield he claimed could withstand any weapon.
Wait a minute. Those claims contradict each other.
Very perceptive. But then again, you've heard this story before, right? Anyway, as you mentioned, the very description of these items discredit them both. When the king pointed this out, the merchant was left speechless. And thus the Chinese word for contradiction was born. Oh, I see. So the chipped shield and broken knife symbolize? Precisely so. They symbolize the merchant's items. Okay, so I need to tell you that about 40 minutes ago, our mother had texted that she was going to sleep. There was a group chat going.
Okay.
5 seconds ago, she messaged me on Facebook.
Yeah.
I'm assuming she's just like on her phone in bed or something.
Probably.
Or just like, Mom! Anyway.
She is very likely lying down in the living room.
Yeah.
Almost asleep.
Yeah. The ancient tale ends with the merchant at a loss for words. But it's in our nature to pursue matters to their conclusion. Even if it results in something as ugly as this. Wow! Thanks, Mr. Edgeworth. I learned something new today.
I didn't learn anything new. I knew it the whole time. That's funny. That's so. Why were you only given a shield?
You'll have to ask Chief Gant. 2 years ago, he had the halberd part of the sword abolished.
Abolished is an intense word for this, but okay. Chief Gant.
Alright, well, you need to examine something.
I wonder what he was writing before.
Come on, Mr. Wright, let's take a look!
You crazy? Edgeworth is sitting right there.
Just distract him, I'll check it out.
Hey, Edgeworth. Is that Detective Gumshoe at the window there? Oh no, he's falling to the ground!
Hold on, first let me see what that girl's doing crawling around my feet.
He didn't even look.
What? Letter of If you're having trouble reading, I'll read it for you. It says the letter of resignation.
Resignation? Edgeworth, you don't mean...
I'm tired, right? I feel as if something inside me has died. But Mr. Edgeworth, none of it is your fault. I know the path I've walked. You don't need to tell me. And the path I've walked hasn't been a just one. I can't forgive myself for what I've done. And no one else should forgive me either.
Uh-oh. I think he's serious.
Mr. Wright, please, you have to do something.
This letter of resignation. I wonder if I can use it for something.
This is evidence now.
I mean, I know exactly what I'm going to use it for.
Yeah, you know what to do.
Gumshoe.
Edgeworth is gonna quit if you don't let us into Chief Gant's office.
He's sad, Gumshoe.
He's so sad.
Excuse me? Yep, figured it was her. Would either of you care for a quarter-pound of roast beef? Ms. Starr, I guess she's out of lunches. You certainly are the curious sort, aren't you? Kind of like the first person who sucked a cow's nipple to discover milk?
I'm upset. I'm upset. Ma'am.
Humans had never experienced any kind of milk before that. Anyway,
No.
still I never thought you'd be digging up that case from 2 years ago. Everyone in this trial was involved in the SL9 incident. Not only that, but the murder occurred the very day the evidence from the case was due for transferal. That can't all be attributed to a mere coincidence. Aren't you forgetting something? You know, that little scene I happened to witness? Yeah, we know. No matter how much of the past you dig up, it won't change what I saw. Roast beef is meant to be savored when eaten. Miss Starr's hatred toward Lana. It all dates back to 2 years ago. Do I have to talk to you now? But I have to go talk to Gumshoe.
Talk to her first.
Joe Dark. That's a name I'll not soon forget. I trailed him for half a year. So it didn't happen in one day. How
That's
much
so
did I miss in the auto-scrolling that the text disappeared the moment it stopped scrolling? Oh, the pressure. Still, I don't think I was ever more alive than I was then. Those days were steamier than a bowl of hot gravy.
Gross.
Poor old Jake Marshall, though, must have been going through hell. Being because of his brother's death? We were close. They were close, those two. After Neil died, something took over Jake. He became obsessed. Seeing Jake like that made her all the more desperate. Her? Lana Skye.
My sister?
You know who your sister is. Please. The best of the best put on that SL9 case. Of course, they were led by that legendary duo. Lana and Gant. That legendary pair was the reason we were able to keep up our investigation. That's why we were so shocked over how it turned out. You mean with the forging of the evidence? Don't get me wrong, Joe Dark got what he deserved. Still, it was obvious the evidence produced in court was being manipulated. It seems our team never found items would suddenly appear while other items were kept secret.
But you don't have proof that anything illegal was done.
I'm proof enough of what happened. After that case, all of us save Goodman were relieved of our duties. 2 of you. 2 of you were... Most without even so much as an explanation. I guess they're not only talking about detectives. There may have also been, like, patrolmen and stuff that were let go. Then Lana Skye transferred to the prosecutor's office and became chief prosecutor.
Lana always wanted to be a prosecutor.
Nothing quite as simple as it appears.
Huh?
Lana Skye was merely being used as a pawn. That's my take on the matter. You've all noticed that Gant is literally the devil, right? She was being used?
Like when he's around, there's literally a smell.
You smell the sulfur and the brimstone, right? It's not just me.
The temperature goes up
Like,
about 5 degrees.
that's not normal. You've seen his eyes, right? They weren't like that 2 years ago. His eyes were like hazel. Damon Gant and Lana Skye. Gant led the investigation. Lana's... Yeah, we know.
They solved all kinds of cases together, didn't they?
Yeah, we know. Damon Gant's magnetism in particular was almost unreal. His magnetism? By that I mean his ability to attract evidence. He'd produced the most incredible evidence in the cases he handled. Incredible evidence, you mean? Oh yes, there were rumors about him even back then. No one dared confront him, though, because he's the devil. I take it she's talking about forged evidence. Back then, everyone looked up to Lana. All the detectives wanted to be like her.
Really?
Oh yes, myself included. I was a fool, really. She hated anything crooked and always watched out for other detectives. That's why she was so concerned for Jake.
Mr. Marshall.
When Jake's brother was murdered, he felt as if she had lost her own brother. If it wasn't for her, I don't think Jake would have ever recovered from his shock. That's what makes it all the more infuriating.
Miss Starr.
That's why I'll never be able to forgive her. Why did she have to turn so cold after that? Lana transferred to the prosecutor's office 2 years ago, didn't she? Yes, thanks to Chief Gant's powerful influence.
Chief.
That's right, having solved the SL9 case, his position as chief was secured. There was only one thing left for him to control, and then no one could stand in his way. The prosecutor's office. What? You mean that's why Lana was transferred? If he could control the chief prosecutor, he could control the prosecutor's office. That must have been his goal all along.
But how could he control Lana?
I don't know. He's the devil. You figure it out. But one thing's for sure. Ever since that case ended, she's never been the same. It's only logical to conclude there must have been a reason for her change. Last. Finally getting close to the bottom of this ugly mess. Thank you, Ms. Starr. You listen to me, rookie. It takes more than just ingredients to create fine cuisine. I hope you turn out to be a better chef than I've been.
Alright, bye.
Okay.
I don't think you have anything to show her.
Nope.
Yeah.
Gumshoe. Let me into the office, Gumshoe. Oh, you're back. You still here? I gotta make 150 copies of these files. Brewing coffee, copying files, turning into a regular DJ.
What?
You're what?
DJ as well?
If I'm not mistaken, I think he means desk jockey.
Oh, that DJ.
I gotta admire your persistency, but my answer's still no.
Eh?
I'm not letting you into the chief's office, period. It'd be my neck on the line. That office is the last crime scene of the SO9 incident. I have to take a look in there.
There's gotta be something we could do to make the detective change his mind. If only
You're
there was
not
someone he cared about
doing it
more
for
than
me.
himself.
You're doing it for Edgeworth. What's this crumpled up piece of paper? You know I can't read things that are crumpled. No way, Miss Edgeworth can't be serious. Is he ever not serious? I can't believe that they've pushed him this far.
Mr. Edgeworth really feels responsible.
When I first met him, I thought he was as cold as ice, too. But I know different now. He trusted us detectives to provide him with sound evidence. But we betrayed him.
Detective.
That's it. I've made up my mind.
But
Here, take my ID card. Can't do that if someone found out.
they wouldn't let you off the hook with another lost item report.
Look at me. No secret I'm already out of the loop. After all, I'm friends with Mr. Edgeworth. Depending on how this case turns out, I may already be as good as terminated. What? So at least let me do this. For Mr. Edgeworth's sake. Alright, detective. Thank you. Oh, I'm gonna be talking about this in therapy today. Here it goes.
We're in. If anyone finds us now,
Detective Gumshoe's goner. If that happens, I'm counting on you to bail me out. Yeah! You hit Gumshoe?
sorry, I thought you were a ghost.
What? I didn't even know you could slap a ghost. But Detective Gumshoe? What are you doing sneaking up on us like that? I wasn't sneaking. I was just worried something might go wrong. Listen, I stopped talking for 2 seconds and people accused me of sneaking. So I came through. If you're here, then what's the point in giving us your ID card? Okay. Hey, don't do that to my card. hardly ever get a chance to come in here, so I had figured I'd have a look around myself. Besides, we're on this together now.
You really want to get fired, don't you?
Now if we're lucky. Now come on, let's see what we can find out. Got a bad feeling about this.
Talk to him.
That desk on the other side of the room. Is that your sister's?
Yes, that's where I was waiting for Lana. On that day, 2 years ago.
Is anyone using it now? No, sir. This is entirely Chief Gant's office now. Practices a strict policy of preserving the crime scene. That's a strange reason to leave it there. He leaves it as a warning to everyone else. Wants us always to be alert. He told us himself at a New Year's party. Of course, he was pretty intoxicated at the time. I see.
So ever since Lana left, no one ever touches that desk?
No one except Chief Gant and the cleaning lady who's in here each morning. Still, 2 years have passed since that incident. There can't possibly be any clues remaining, especially if there's a cleaning lady in here every morning. Anyway. Can I ask you something? Sure. You only came here to look around, right? Because it's one of SL9... It's one of the SL9 crime scenes. I mean, that's your only reason for coming here, isn't it? Why do you ask? You don't think, nah, you wouldn't be, no. No, there's no way, never mind, don't worry about it. Okay, now then let's look around a bit more. Hey, hold on, not so fast, buddy. Huh? What is it? Something tells you don't worry about it, it's supposed to start bothering you, pal. You don't just let it go at that. Sorry? This guy's starting to get on my nerves. I disagree.
Oh yeah, he's the best.
Okay, so what's bothering you? I still don't think Chief Gant might be a suspect, do you?
What? He's right, Mr. Right. What do we think of him?
I think he's the devil.
Okay, but do you think that he, like, did a murder or something?
Probably.
You think he did
Can't, so it's
more than
finally
one
come
murder?
to this. Probably. What do I think of him? Perhaps it's best I don't divulge my feelings. Yet. There you go, ignoring me again. Sorry, Gumshoe.
Okay. Let's examine.
I have to look at the armor. This is the real deal, isn't it? This armor and these weapons? Sure is, pal. Chief doesn't care for imitations. First the pipe organ, now this armor. Do you know how many taxpayer dollars must have gone into this room?
What? You mean we're paying for this?
You're 16, you're not paying for it yet.
That's it. I'm not paying 1 cent of my taxes.
Wrong lesson. You don't have any taxes to pay. Shh, be careful of what you say. Who knows? He may be hiding in this armor as we speak. I don't think he'd fit in there. Even if he did.
Even if he did, he'd never be able to get back out.
Cut it out. You guys don't know how scary that guy can be.
Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk.
Speaking of that, when we were here earlier... Oh, it's you two. Chief Gant, he put away the paper. I wonder what he was reading. Oh, this looks like a list of evidence. List of evidence? Most cases, the list runs twice as long as this, though.
Hey, look at the case name.
Huh? SL9 incident? I wonder what this is doing in here. Hold on, detective. What did you just say? I said I wonder what... No, about evidence lists. Normally they're twice as long? That's right. Guess there wasn't a lot of evidence. A half-sized list of evidence. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do each one of them have... Oh, okay, yeah, it is the other half.
I knew it. The chief must be hiding something about that case.
Would appear so. Oh, there's still something about the desk.
Wow, look at the size of Chief Gant's desk.
We found this inside the drawer. Da-da, okay, all things that we know.
Okay.
A safe. This is a safe, isn't it? Safe. The word is ripe with intrigue. Okay, if you say so.
It looks like a code needs to be entered in this panel to open it. What do you think the code is? A 7-digit number?
Do you know what it is? I have a hunch. Oh, I know it. You want to try my birth date? It's... I have a better idea. Here goes nothing. How do I make an SL9? Is it 5? No.
What?
Wait.
What are you trying to
Sevens.
do?
Never mind.
What were you trying to put in?
I was... My brain was trying to make it SL9. That's only 3. Bingo.
What number did you enter?
Whose birthday was that, pal? 7's. Final ID card number on that record.
What?
The number of the mysterious executive officer who entered the room that day? You mean... that ID number? I think you're 1-7 shy this time. This can only mean one thing. It's Chief Gant's ID number.
Say, anyone care to look inside?
Yes. Gumshoe, please move. Thank you. Is there any money in there? How much does he have stashed away?
Look, it's
It's part of the vase. A shard from a broken cup? Somehow looks familiar. Where have I seen this before? You had to put it together. Also, it's in the picture.
there's something else in here too.
What's this? It looks like a piece of leather cloth. A big old...
Just having incriminating evidence in
handprint.
his safe in his office.
This is a handprint, isn't it? Hey, I saw someone wearing a shirt like that once. You think the chief made up the design?
I don't think so.
Oh, well, it's just a thought.
Is that it? This is all that was in the safe?
Apparently so. It's empty now. Piece of cloth with a handprint on it and a broken shard from a cup. They look like pieces of evidence. Yeah, but unless you can prove they have something to do with this case, I'm afraid I can't just let you take them. After all, it's my neck on the line here. Great, now I have to prove their relevancy to get them. How are these 2 items related to the SL9 incident?
I mean, Phoenix, yes, that is kind of it. You can't just steal from this man's safe.
I can't?
No, you do. You are currently breaking and entering.
I'm
Do
what?
you really want to add? I mean, maybe it's not breaking because you didn't break anything to get in, but still,
It's
you definitely entered.
undeniably trespassing.
Yes, trespassing is the word. Come on, there's got to be something we can show the detective. So, present.
Go back. Present. I got a present for you, Gumshoe. It's a cup.
A vase, an unstable jar with bloodstains on
Hey,
it.
I got the cup for you. I didn't press the right button.
No. Present.
Present. Detective Gumshoe, could you have another look at this jar? I remember when three of us put that back together. Ah, those were the days.
That was like yesterday.
It's kind of early to be nostalgic. Yes, it was. That's right, SL9. Doesn't this ring any bells? You know, that fragment we just found. Oh, you mean this one that was in the safe?
Yes, that one. That was in the safe.
Now that you mention it, it's ringing a lot of bells. Let's see if it fits. Shard, yes. Glue. Glue. Here goes.
Do it.
What?
You have to turn it. Hooray!
It fits like a charm. That, of course, means Chief Gant willingly and knowingly hid a piece of this jar in his safe.
Eh?
In other words, he concealed a piece of evidence from the SL9 incident.
But
Hey guys, get a load of this. What is it? This piece you just attached. It's different from the others.
there's a reddish line on it.
Reddish line? That's blood. I don't get it. Why would Chief Gant hide this in his safe? Oh, you large puppy man.
Okay, so you need to. Do you know what you need to present now? To get the handprint?
The security video?
No, please don't.
Marshall's fingerprints?
No.
The fingerprinting stuff?
Yay! You did it!
Detective Gumshoe, I'd like you to have a look at this. Hey, I know what that is. Great idea. Let's go to town. What are you doing? Why are you sticking out your hand like that? Go ahead, take my fingerprints.
It's not your fingerprints we want to take.
Huh? Come on, this isn't the time for jokes. Talking about the cloth we found in the safe. Oh, I know that. The one with the handprint on it. Was your sense of humor? I definitely wasn't serious. Yeah.
Powder, do the thing.
Let's... Oh, I need to press enter to dust.
Yeah.
Why isn't it dusting? Hello? Oh. Because I hadn't clicked on it yet in the right spot. And remember, I have to over-apply it. Because I have no idea the actual scale of things. I gotta do it like this. Anyway. Is that not enough because I didn't get it enough down here in the area where it literally blocks me from doing it because of the UI? Thank you, game.
It's a good game.
It is, but That's not
Gant.
That's not Gant, is it? It's not Goodman. It's not Gumshoe. It's not Lana. That's Emma.
Emma?
Emma, did you do a murder?
Emma, did you do a murder when you were 14 years old?
Oh, what can this be? What are Emma's fingerprints doing here?
Hey, you found a match? Whose fingerprints were they?
Huh? Oh, it seems the prints are too old. They aren't clear enough to get a match.
Oh, that's too bad. I thought they'd be Dark's prints.
Psst, hey you, over here. What's going on here? What are the kids' prints doing inside the chief's safe? Don't ask me. Just keep this information from Emma for now. Here, maybe you should hold on to this. Well, was I any help? Of course. Thanks to your ID card, we were able to get some hard evidence.
Now that's not very kind, is it? In other words, if it wasn't for his ID card, he would have been useless. Isn't that right, you in the coat?
Chief Gant! Didn't think you'd be back so soon.
Fortunately, I'm a man who believes in signs. As I was walking to my meeting, I happened to look out the window and saw a stray dog run right into a pole. Just then I thought of a certain detective.
Do you mean me, sir?
Now then, I'm afraid I'm going to have to ask you all to leave. Yes, sir. Sorry. Oh, you in the coat.
Me, sir?
Drop off your ID on the way out. You won't be needing it anymore.
But, sir...
Now get out.
Yes, sir. We'll be on our way too, then.
Wait, you, the one without the spiky hair. Don't go yet. Me, sir? Sir, that's a minor? That's a child? She needs to be with a guardian at all times.
I'm not leaving a child with the devil.
I'd like a word with you. But sir, I'm not a licensed scientific investigator yet. You with the spiky hair. You're free to go. Mr. Wright? Phoenix? Phoenix?
Did he physically throw me out of the room? Look, pal, if I've told you once, I've told you 1,000 times. The chief's office is off limits. But no, you just had to go sneaking in there like that, didn't you? Thought you said you didn't care anymore if you were fired. Yeah, but if I knew it'd be like this, never would have said it. Now that I've seen the evidence Chief Gant was hiding in his office, I think I'm finally starting to get the picture. Why has she kept eerily silent about it all this time? Anyway, you listening to me? I'm gonna try to smooth things over with the chief again. Later, pal. After that, I heard from Emma. She said the police wanted to ask her some questions, so she'll be busy for the rest of the day.
Ugh. I see. So the chief asked Emma to come in for questioning.
No use thinking about it. Tomorrow's the final day in court. I'm committed to doing everything I can to defend you, which is why I'm here.
I've already told you all I can.
Well, you've told me over these past couple of days is absolutely nothing. Not a single useful thing.
Really? I believe I did mention something quite important. Something I told you right at the beginning. I said that I was the one who stabbed Detective Goodman.
You know, I think I've finally figured it out. I think I know who it is that's lurking behind your words.
Mia did a good job mentoring you. I'm rather jealous. It seems Edgeworth was right.
Edgeworth?
Once you're convinced you know something, no one can persuade you otherwise. Thick-headed is the term he used, I believe.
Now's my chance to get her to tell me the rest of the story. Handprint?
I mean, you can
Or just talk?
talk to her.
I have to admit, I was more than a little perplexed at first. You insisted you did it, yet there was no incriminating evidence. That's when it hit me. It's not that you're unwilling to tell the truth. It's that you're incapable of doing so because of a certain individual.
What an intriguing notion. A certain individual, you say? So you think I'm protecting this person?
Protecting? No, I think you're afraid of is more like it. If I'm not mistaken, the person in question may have persuaded you to silence.
For argument's sake, Mr. Wright, whom, may I ask, is this person you're speaking of? The one I'm supposedly so frightened of. What is this person's name?
Meekins. It's Gant, the 65-year-old, the devil.
The only man who's older than 30?
Yeah.
Okay, he's
Goodman.
dead.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Marshall's 33.
Okay, fine.
She's 29.
She's 29, and she and Gant have been working together for years.
Anyway, it's Gant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Ms. Sky?
Mr. Wright, you are addressing the chief prosecutor. Do not forget your place.
I take it she's still not ready to spill the beans.
My apologies. Could you please tell me a bit more about what you think you know? We were partners until 2 years ago. I respected him as a detective, assuming he is...
Assuming he is respectable, then tell me something. Why would he try to hide his crimes?
His crimes?
Both you and Edgeworth will be brought before the Board of Inquiry for what you did, specifically hiding and forging evidence.
Of course. These are serious offenses.
Why is it, though, that Chief Gant's name was never mentioned?
Chief Gant?
Edgeworth didn't know the truth behind the forgery. The only party who could have possibly tampered with the evidence was...
Me. I had access because I was second in command of that investigation.
Yes, you, but also the one other, Damon Gant.
If you intend to accuse Chief Gant, you'll need more than just words. Show me proof that Chief Gant falsified evidence in that case. The list.
Just found this in a safe in the chief's office. This jar piece and this piece of cloth. Do you know what these are? These are pieces of evidence from the SL9 incident. The person concealing evidence was none other than Chief Gant himself. Now tell me, why are you taking all the blame for him?
Touché, Mr. Wright. It's as you surmised. I cannot disobey the Chief's orders, even if it means being found guilty for murder.
Why not?
Come down, Mr. Wright. You can't possibly expect me to be able to tell you that. 3 days ago, I had no choice but to cooperate.
The murder of Detective Goodman.
Or perhaps I should say, follow orders. Yes, that's more accurate than cooperate. Although I can't tell you the details, I can say that I was given an order that day. I need you to dispose of Bruce Goodman's body. You'll find it inside the trunk of Miles Edgeworth's car.
Just as I suspected. Despite what everyone believes, you were not the one who murdered Detective Goodman.
Correct. I was trying to take the body out of Edgeworth's car. The trunk's lock was broken, and I discovered that murder weapon while inspecting the body. The murder weapon... Oh, sorry.
Murder weapon? You mean Edgeworth's knife?
No. When I found the body, this was the knife stuck in it.
The knife from the SL9 incident. Joe Dark's knife.
I couldn't just leave that knife in him. So I took it out and stabbed him with another knife.
That would be Edgeworth's knife.
That's right. Even though he was already dead, my hands were shaking at the thought of stabbing him. That's why I ended up cutting my hand.
And that is the reason for the bandage on your right hand.
Yes. It seems I got blood on the victim's shoes as well. And then... she saw me just as I plunged the knife in.
Miss Starr. Why did you need to hide Dark's knife so badly?
It took a lot of work to finally close the Dark case 2 years ago. It was over with. I didn't ever want it to be open again. My intent was to prevent that by whatever means possible.
So you hid Dark's knife.
The weapon used to stab the detective was evidence in the Joe Dark case. If word got out, which it would, the reporters would have a field day with that.
So you wrapped the knife in your scarf and hid it in Edgeworth's exhaust pipe.
Right. Then I called my sister to tell her what happened and ask her to hide the knife that was inside my muffler.
You asked Emma?
I didn't want anyone on the force to know about this.
That would explain why Emma is so confident about Lana's innocence.
Speaking of phone calls, I had a bad feeling about one of them that day.
Bad feeling?
The truth is, after I received those orders from Chief Gant, the first thing I did was make a phone call. A phone call to Patrolman Jake Marshall.
To Marshall? Why on earth would you call him?
The lead investigator for the SL9 incident had been murdered. I wanted that fact to be kept hidden, and I needed help. He was the only other person I could trust. Or at least, I thought I could trust him at the time. However, it seems that after I spoke to him, he went off on an escapade of his own.
Oh, you mean...
Not wanting the case to die, he decided to take things into his own hands.
Goodman disguise. Stole an ID card.
But it seems he still hadn't made up his mind to break into the evidence room. After my phone call, any remaining doubts he had must have disappeared.
So your phone call caused the incident in the evidence room.
I'm afraid that's all I can tell you.
But Lana,
You've earned my respect, Mr. Wright, both as a defense attorney and as an investigator. Now please, don't pursue this any further in court tomorrow.
tomorrow's trial. There's only one way to drive off Lana's demons. Got to get to the bottom of everything.
Alright.
Detective Goodman's real murder. What went down in the chief's office 2 years ago.
Alright. So, we should be able to finish this next Tuesday!
Yeah. Oh. To the top, please. Thank you. Alright.
Well, thanks for watching.
Goodbye.